So I told the management over there, I said, hey, look, I'm actually more than happy to come back again and do another condo review for you. Absolutely for free, whatever, but I'm going to give my full transparency once again. Yes. So you better make sure, okay, that your particular development, when I come again, when you invite me again, this time you invite me, you better make sure that it's clean. You better make sure there's no cockroaches. If not, then no point.
Hi guys, my name is Dylan.
Hi, my name is Jen. I'm from StayWoke Property.
Yes, so it's really very honoured to invite you over. My first guest, other than Stephanie.
Other than Stephanie, I mean, obviously, this is going to be very new for me also. This is also my first podcast, my first ever podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
So for the people that are watching this channel or this series, right, I would be rather bit awkward because it's my first time also. But thank you, Dylan, for inviting us over today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because normally we see you as a 1 minute guy.
Right.
Yeah, 1 minute guy on Instagram.
Right.
So, you can introduce yourself. What do you normally do?
Yeah, maybe to give everybody a bit more context, right? We started off as your regular listing platform online, right? And we're just thinking to ourselves, actually, how do we expand our reach to a wider audience? And because we already have so much access to a lot of these condos, irregardless if it's new launch or older properties, right? Then I was just thinking to myself, there is not one person or one company right now that actually does transparent condo reviews every single day. Yes. And also covers all type of properties. Doesn't matter if it's 30 years old, 20 years old, Correct. 10 years old, or just VP, right? We want to review them all because there's always going to be a demand, irregardless for this type of properties, right, despite its age.
Yes. So I think one thing that really caught both me and Stephanie's eyes, right, is you reviewed a lot of old condos, Right. And okay, so to share also, because both of us, we are planning to find a house. Right. To live in, as an own stay house, right? So I realized one thing, nowadays newer condos, the size are very small. The size are very small. I mean, but I noticed older condos, the size are slightly bigger. So aside from this thing, right, what do you normally notice as well?
I think when it comes to newer condos, yes, the form factor, the layouts are a little bit smaller. The other thing is also about the amount of facilities that you have in the newer condos that translates to actually a more expensive maintenance fee. Because the more advanced or more technological enhancement that
the atas facility.
Like you sometimes really ask yourself, do I really use this facility?
Yeah, that's why.
So in older condos, you will see there is certain elements of facilities, but the ones that are no longer fully utilized, right, they kind of cut off already. Yeah. So for example, sauna rooms in older condos, number one, it's very hard to maintain. Number two, it's also very costly. And how many people actually uses these type of facilities? If it's not being in use, then of course the management office would cut it off.
But then the funny thing is also, a lot of people, when they're finding a new house nowadays, right, from what I know, they always look at facilities. Oh, this one you got what? You got sauna or not? You got basketball or not? You got badminton court or not? You got all this and that.
Correct.
So I'm very curious, why people memang, they all know that a lot of times you won't use it, but why they still want, what is the thought process? I'm not too sure actually.
I think it's an ego kind of thing, because when you kind of think of it, right, everybody when they buy a new property, right, they're looking for the fancy, the atas punya feel. Oh, my friend come here, got this. But in actuality, 1 year, how many times you use?
Yes.
Right, but at the end of it, this would actually impact your pocket, Because what happens, if you got more facilities you have, as I mentioned earlier on just now, the more money you're going to pay in maintenance or upkeeping of the place.
Correct.
So for me, right, like today we are in your property here at Rosewood. I don't know if I can say that or not. If you cannot, then you cut it out.
Okay.
But you see, Rosewood itself, facility-wise, is not to say crazy, but the design that they chose is actually quite bold.
Yes.
Now, over time, will that translate into very expensive maintenance fee? I don't know.
It's very expensive already.
It's very expensive.
You know how much is it?
How much is it?
It's 44 cents.
Wow.
PSF. It's really expensive.
Right.
And, previously when I bought this, right, it's we didn't really know. They say it's very low density, so it's 300-ish units.
Right.
In one block.
Right.
But then if you look at the land, plot ratio,
Right.
It's actually very high dense.
Correct.
So
because this is half an acre, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think it's around there.
Right?
Maybe near to one. I think
near
one.
To one. I think it's 0.8 to 1 acre, and then it's about 300 units.
Yes.
Now that doesn't really translate to low dense, sorry, my friend.
But
low dense one, because we have seen a lot of developments like older condos, right? One plot of 1 acre, they usually represent only about 150 to 200, and that would be considered sufu. like comfortable kind
Comfortable,
of
yeah.
like setting lah, that is considered low dense.
Yes.
But for the case over here, I find it to be okay still, because when I was here just now going through the facilities, everything, I don't know how they structure it in a way whereby it doesn't feel very cramped lah. So it's okay.
I think the main thing about unit is the floor plan over here. It's I think 14 units,
Right.
but then they're separate into two sides.
Right, right,
4 unit one side, the other 10, and then from unit to unit, it's slightly far apart.
Correct.
Yeah, so this is something that they try to play around with lah.
Right.
But I believe older condos, because I've been to a few of them. One thing I like is they have a lot of privacy one. They try to how to say like an H alphabet H. Like you have one over here, a few BG over here,
Correct,
then a few over here, then a few over here. Even though it's like maybe 14 units as well, but they try to hide it. So from the lift lobby, you turn there, it's maybe 3.
Correct.
I find that is better, right?
Correct. I think this is one of the condos that I've reviewed not long ago, right? It's called Asiana Putri in Puchong,
Okay.
which is a condo that I used to stay at, just to give the audience a bit more context, right? So that particular design is actually very unique in the sense whereby, like what you say, it's a H design. So essentially when you open your door, right, there is nothing in front of you.
Yes.
And it's rather strange, especially newer condos like what we have been to, like your unit here, right? Yours, thankfully enough, is the corner lot. You don't get to see another person in front of you.
Correct.
But like most of it, like if you go to M Vertica or the other a bit more high density one, you will notice that sometimes you open the door, and sometimes neighbors, you don't get to choose who your neighbors is. But
Correct.
So if you open the door and for whatever reason you and him just don't see eye to eye, then it's a little bit awkward.
Correct. I have another one in Old Klang Road where I'm actually staying lah. When I open, right, before me and Stephanie, when we open the door, we always check at the what's that called, the door. Door
Okay.
thingy, And I check, got people. Hey, it's the truth, you know. Or sometimes when you hear, because I shared in one of our earlier episodes when both me and Stephanie were doing a car podcast, right?
Right.
We always tend to listen. Hey, got people coming out, right? We won't go out. We wait for them first.
Right.
Yeah, and we really hate seeing people at the lift. I don't know why. That's us. So I think for older condos really fits. That's why we're actually finding a house as well. That's why your channel sort of struck to our Instagram. Say, hey, a lot of older condos. That's why I sort of engaged with you.
Right. Appreciate that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's what the feedback that we're getting so far also.
Yes.
Because I think older condos get neglected so much in the market, right? Everybody is looking for the new projects.
Correct.
And everybody is marketing that. So what we try to do is that we try to be, number one, very transparent about what we see and what we are talking about. Because in all honesty, when we are there, right, what we want to do is provide you the lens from my point of view. Now, I may say things that to a certain extent might be a bit harsh, but I'm just trying to provide transparency to the audiences.
Yes.
And thankfully enough, I think that has picked up a little bit and gotten us a little bit more eyeballs,
Yes.
which if you guys haven't followed us yet, I do a bit of sponsor.
Can
shout
sponsor.
out. I just gotta follow us on Instagram called StayWokeProp lah.
Yeah,
so hopefully you guys can get something inspiring from there, or maybe check out some properties from that note lah.
You know, I think that you should long form content. Why you should do more, because me myself I also watch your content as well.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Really, because it's very fast. Like for my content, it's very low lah, very long-winded. A lot of people say, but because I like to talk a lot of 废话, a lot of like unnecessary things. But for you, it's very clear cut. Your property review is like 7-6 minutes, 8 minutes around there, right?
The long form ones, is
Yeah.
it? Around there also, we're trying to make it like 10 minutes lah, because we understand that attention span nowadays is also shorter and shorter, and that's the reason why we started with the very short form, like 1 minute condo reviews, and we are also exploring the longer forms because due to popular demand lah.
Yeah. One thing is, I know, I understand that you take a lot of you take pride and you had a lot of time to build your 1 minute script and everything, right? But aside from this, I saw online that recently you also kena police thing. Can you briefly share? This is the thing I even texted you personally. Like, are you okay or not? I was really shocked. Like, what happens, yeah?
Right.
Wow, this one is really something that I was a bit shocked. You know?
Yeah.
Can you share a bit?
Sure. I mean, for the benefit of the condo or the people that brought us to that particular unit, right? We're not going to mention the condo's name.
Cannot mention already now.
I don't need to mention also. Later, kena another.
Later my turn to go balai.
Balai police or lawyer letters lah.
Yeah.
These two we get rather often because sometimes I think in Malaysia we are still not very open to the idea of transparency or I never knew that Malaysia there is no such thing as freedom of speech. The condos that we've been to, right, because they're rather old and they are not to say the best in maintained lah. So when we are there, we just try to translate whatever we see, and there were cockroaches around, and cockroaches is already
a negative thing, right?
Yeah, and it's not like we're trying to defamatory or like defame this particular condo. It was just there. So we were just trying to transcribe, and we even read the Google reviews. It's even listed online. So when we transcribed that into a short form video, the residents there saw the video, not happy, informed management, and then management report to police. Then we were like, dude, you just wasted my entire day, okay, because I need to drive all the way to Sepang.
Sepang? Why Sepang?
So I give you a context or hint there.
Okay.
That means that property is somewhere in that region.
Sepang, meh?
Okay. Wow. So you see, for somebody that office in Cheras, I reside in Ampang, right? For me to go all the way there just to go and deal with this thing, because even the police cannot understand what the problem is. He cannot even understand the video, number one. I need to translate everything in Bahasa Melayu, and guys, my Malay is not that great. Then after that, he also say, oh, actually, I just nak buat case saja. I just nak close file. So I perlu you datang dekat sini in order for me to close file. So I translate everything to him, and then he's like, oh, you tak boleh cakap macam tu because you punya property price akan jatuh, you sudah ada sedikit followers semua tu. So I'm like, okay. So what is the next actionable step that I can do from my side? So I told the management over there, I say, hey, look, I'm actually more than happy to come back again and do another condo review for you. Absolutely for free, whatever, but I'm going to give my full transparency once again lah. So you better make sure, okay, that your particular development, when I come again, when you invite me again, this time you invite me, you better make sure that it's clean. You better make sure there's no cockroaches. If not, then no point. Then I'm going to make the review again, then you're going to come and
sue again. So it's a cycle. I think if I'm the owner of that particular condo, right, I will feel ashamed. I won't blame you of exposing. I will actually blame the management. Why I pay maintenance fee? Why you didn't clean it? That should be the right way, ma.
Correct.
It shouldn't be the other way around. Hey, you expose my house is dirty. What? No, doesn't make sense, ma.
Exactly.
That's why. How come,
I mean, this is a Malaysian mentality thing. I mean, for somebody that actually studied in the US, I feel like there needs to be more freedom of speech in Malaysia. And personally, I feel that whatever I'm translating or whatever I'm putting out as a content, right, is really from my personal opinion and very truthful one. Like, this is Jin in real life also lah. So if you meet me in person or whatnot, right, you really know that I'm not trying to mask myself as a different character or whatnot.
Correct.
I'm just really giving you my honest opinion. And if that is it lah. Then the worst part where just now you mentioned about new condos and older condos, right? Guys, I got to tell you this one thing. To be very frank, your property 2 decades down the road or 3 decades down the road, whatever it is, you want to exit your property also. You buy property for investment. The first thing you need to care about, right, is your maintenance. If your property is like shit, nobody is going to want to buy a sub-sales. Nobody's going to rent your property. So for me to really come out there, put my face for you guys to actually talk about your property, you all should thank me rather than come and blasa me.
Wow, this one. Hey, you study law in US, is it? You tell me. You study law in US. This one can pusing.
I feel that really, like I come and think back, like I'm just reflecting to this thing that we're doing and trying to really understand why you didn't thank me but you come and blasa me. You should scold the management office or change the management office or change some policy or put proper governance there lah, in my opinion.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow, this one get you worked up. Initially you say shy like that. No.
This topic really get me very 激动 really hang very hot.
But I think, aside of the negative things that occurred to you, I think that also gained a lot of attention and a lot of support. Like personally, I think me myself, I'm also one of the supporters side. Like, hey, why? I thought you are just telling the truth, right?
Right.
So I think it's a good thing, lah. If you see it in this way.
Yeah. I like to view it as a positive, So I think it came out good, lah. I think it came out good, lah.
Yeah. And one more thing, it's for StayWokeProp itself, right? Normally you guys are actually, because a lot of people actually, my friends are, hey, do you know Staywoke? I'm like, oh, I know Jin, but I don't really know what he is doing.
Correct.
So maybe you can share with us, what do you...
Right. Okay, I think for the benefit of the audience also, so we are actually positioned as a Proptech company. So essentially what we do over here is we have a listing platform. So if property owners or property investors, right, when you buy a property, your thought process is that I want to make passive rental income.
Okay. Yes.
Right? Or if I want to get a verified agent, basically, long story short, everybody knows what the agent scene is like. But if you come to the entire Malaysian landscape when it comes to rental property or sales of a property, right, it's actually rather cowboy one. In a sense whereby, hey, I want to look for a verified agent. Where do I go right now? There is none. You go to LPPH, some of the agents there are no longer validated or
expired already.
Maybe because the churn is also very high.
Yeah.
Let's be very honest over here. So when you want to look for a verified agent for a particular area, particular condo, it's very hard for you to verify that. Now, what we built in our platform over here is that we are aggregating landlord listings. So property owners that are watching this video, and if you guys want to really check us out, you can go to www.StayWokeProp.com.
Why cake already?
Why cake? Because we have two platforms. One is StayWokeProp.com and one is StayWoke.property.com.
No, wait, you give me the link, I will link down. We'll check the link down below. I'll link it over.
Right, put the link down below, appreciate that.
Yeah.
But essentially what we do over here is we are trying to help property owners like yourself, investors, give them a platform whereby they can actually list their full information. Then when people WhatsApp you or WhatsApp blast you, you can just completely ignore them. You say, if you want my listing, okay, you can go to www.StayWokeProp.com, and then from there you can actually take the listing and the information directly. So for you, it's also less nuanced because sometimes you lose your photos, you lost your tenancy agreement, a rental paid already or not. We have a system that is built in that sort of logic lah.
So basically a Proptech. But then it's kind of, I would say how to say not being it's not being advertised too much, right?
Because it's a product that we have just launched this year. So last year we were actually building the product, and that's the reason why we kind of like our go-to-market strategy was to actually build content first, and then this year as the product actually matures and actually is more can roll already. Like right now it's beta testing still.
Okay.
So I think after Chinese New Year we will whack a bit harder on like, oh, if you guys have a property that you can list on our platform, and it's absolutely for free.
It's free.
It's free. So I'm not saying that you need to pay any money. You can list on Facebook Marketplace, Muda and whatnot, but those places are a bit fragmented, like they're not very niche to the property space, right?
Yes.
Whereas Staywoke Property is going to be all about properties only.
So yours is only sub-sales, right, mostly?
Mostly sub-sales lah. We are not going to do project marketing or whatnot on the platform itself lah.
But I think I came across your website, try to stalk this lah.
Right.
I saw one of your, I really like one thing is, I think there's a contract ending feature, right?
Correct.
Maybe you can elaborate. I really love that.
I think the thing about Malaysia rental scene or secondary market, right? A lot of people get very annoyed contacting agents from the two big companies which got merged together, which is Property Grow iProperty, right? And the reason why is because, very simply put, is that property agents list the properties on those portals already.
Okay.
You spend money already. You spend ringgit, or if you're on Turbo, it's like 60 ringgit, whatnot. For you, there is no incentive for you to take down the listing when it's already rented out. So it gets very annoying for the consumer. So like the average Joe just go to the platform there, hey, this property photo nice, I want to view this one. But then when the agent goes over there, open the door for, hey,
Different. And one more thing is, I really hate this so much. Every time I even shared on my Patreon and some of my other platforms, I say normally if you search on Property Guru, you search by lowest price, right? You ignore the first few posts because most of them are going to be fake.
Correct.
Yeah, it's going to be they're lowballing, or I mean I dare to say, like, for example, if I were to search Rosewood, I can confirm with you the lowest price is going to be a project nearby by the same developer.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be a same project nearby, and they're going to swing you over to the new project.
I think that's the honest truth about the landscape in Malaysia for real estate, right? Because the agents also are smart. They don't want to let you know the project name. What if you walk in on your own? That's why most of the project sales marketing agents you ask them, hey, where's the location at? What's the project name? They won't tell you what.
Yes, they won't tell.
And it gets very annoying from a consumer point of view because I need to do my own due diligence. I need to do my research. But if I don't have the full context, how am I going to do my desktop research before I go to visit a place?
And I think this agent and client relationship, right, is just getting drifted further apart because it's like two of them, right? The client and the agent has both their problem. Agents, they like to, a lot of them, not say all of them, a lot of them, they like to scam a little bit, talk shit a bit, right? They'll misrepresent basically.
Right.
And then clients, some of them, of course, they are still good apples, don't get me wrong, but some of them, they'll say, hey, this agent cannot pakai, I couldn't cheated. Then after that, this sort of get drifted further apart,
Correct,
then client will never trust agent. They will always have second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh opinion. Then it makes the whole agency very lethargic.
Correct.
I mean the whole scene, the whole real estate scene very lethargic.
I believe that is a sentiment that we have noticed so far also, because we have worked with a lot of verified agents, and what I noticed is that quality agents don't have a way to market themselves very well. Now, I don't want to keep promoting our new platform, right? But I just want to put out there that, you see, today if you go to a restaurant, the first thing you do is what? You check
the menu, check the review.
Check the review.
So
you either go to like Instagram, check on KL Foodie.
Nowadays people like go 小红书.
小红书 okay.
Banana.
Banana 可以讲不会读. So banana over here don't really use 小红书, but if you see they will go to 小红书, Google review or KL Foodie or whatnot, just to kind of get a context of this place okay or not. 最怕的就是踩雷嘛，对不对？
对，踩雷。
踩雷. So if you, let's just say in real estate scene, right, we have a platform that allows for that. So you know that, Mon Kiara, there's a very famous agent, okay? Shout out to him, Tony Ong, right? I don't really think you know me, or I don't know you also, but I know that he is like one of the top agents in Mon Kiara, and everybody just knows that, you need
should find him.
Should find him. But if other people from other states or whatnot, they are not very well versed in that area, right? Then they don't know that I should reach out to him, right? But if you have a platform that allows people to rate the agents, which in the case our platform has it lah. Okay, so you can rate the agent after every single transaction. You say, this agent actually transacted 10 deals in Oakland Road within 1 month. Then you know that, this guy reliable, this guy 可靠. Compared to not having any sort of like past record, track record. Then when you gonna WhatsApp blast, you just like, I give you my key. Hey, you not scared, man?
Yeah.
I damn scared. My house got furniture. My house later he used as Airbnb. He say never tenanted. How?
So many news, like a lot of what we call the subletting. Is it sub-renting or subletting?
Yeah.
I get it for you. I think there's a scam. No, there's a scam. They list it as an Airbnb. They rent it from the owner as an Airbnb. Then they bring you a view, very nice, very low balling price. They're like, wow, very good. Then you pay.
Correct.
Then
koyak lah.
So
that happened a few instances before lah. I mean, in the news you can very easily check it up. Airbnb scams, right? So that is one of the cases where that happened, and there's also other cases whereby they just park their friends 1 day, 2 day, electric bill is also not so much. Then you would never know one, So I believe that there needs to be some sort of quantifiable or something that actually kind of mandate this part of the equation lah. So I mean, not to kind of keep promoting also. That's the reason why I would think that having a smart lock system is very important, because physical key you give already, you can duplicate some more.
Yeah.
Correct or not? Now smart locks, very simple ma. I give you one-time password, you want to come, you let me know. You don't want to come, then.
So you guys do sell smart lock as well?
We also have
no wonder you say. I didn't know. No wonder it's okay.
Right.
So basically, Proptech and you do smart lock.
Yeah. So it kind of go hand in hand lah. So the Proptech would also come with a smart lock system, and then when the landlord lists on the platform, they can look for verified agents, and then they can actually give reviews to them lah. So that is pretty much what we do. And I also don't want to put this whole entire podcast about our product lah.
It's okay. It's good. No, because I think everyone is really curious, like what Staywoke is doing. But unfortunately, my video is not a lot of views lah. Okay, try to swing it out, let people know what you're really doing,
right.
And to just let the whole real estate scene get better lah.
Right.
Just because I believe that there's so many negative news about real estate in Malaysia. Like recently, I did a video about this private lease scheme, PLS, back in Medini. Then it's like we are planning to do back in Johor. We're planning to do Johor Singapore Special Economic Zone. It is going to drive a lot of foreign companies to set up their companies over here.
Right.
But this thing happened, and it's just around Johor again. So it's like there's a good news and bad news again. So I think it's a really good thing to bring some positivity back lah.
Right. I think the first thing is about transparency lah. If everybody can be a bit more, if there's a bit better governance, and if we are a bit more transparent about the things that we do, then I think it's a bit more streamlined also lah.
Yes.
I mean, the reason why ride-hailing or taxis were eliminated is also because transparency, efficiency.
Yes,
and
correct.
if we do that similarly for the real estate scene, then I think there's merits to it, there's value to it. And for me personally, I'm passionate enough to actually kind of like want to make it happen. Can I make it happen or not? I really don't know. But at least I will give best effort to try lah.
And I mean, just one thing, you back in US, you were studying real estate.
No. I was studying finance.
Oh, same.
Yeah, finance.
But of course,
same.
I'm not from US lah.
So where do you study?
In
Local.
KL, yeah, local.
Okay.
Yes.
Xiamen, right?
No, what's it called? Inti.
Inti.
Yeah, Inti.
Inti.
Nilai.
Nilai.
You?
I studied in Subang, then I went to Nilai. alumni. Right.
Yeah, I didn't know. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you went to US and
Yeah.
you did finance, but then you came back, you straight away dive into this real estate scene lah.
Okay, what happened was I was already working there for like close to 2 years, and then our good friend Donald Trump actually became the president. So obviously tough luck for me lah.
No, I think are they racist towards Asians? No, right?
No. I think at that time he was like very pro, like I want to give job opportunities to the US locals, you know, and then we are like stealing their jobs for whatever reason. But then now he got re-elected as president again, and now he reversed his policy. Now he wants to keep talents.
Oh.
Then I'm like, ayo, bro, Donald Trump, not very nice to me lah.
You had a good career there, I assume. You know, then.
Well, I was doing something that I wasn't really very passionate about. Like, it was really about, it was a finance job. It was more towards financial budgeting. It was
modeling, financial modeling.
Financial modeling, and every day he was looking spreadsheets and numbers and looking at historical data, right? Well, it's not to say that I don't trust data. I am a huge numbers person, but it's not something that I want to do day to day. As you can see, right, I'm like somebody that wants to do, I want to express myself. I'm probably more talkative in that sense.
No, you say you're shy.
I'm an introvert. I don't know why.
But I like to express yourself.
Yeah. So I like to express myself, but you know, that job didn't really suit me to a certain extent, I feel. So I felt that it was like a blessing from God also in that sense, whereby today I get to do somewhat of a different thing and also run my own little startup company.
Yeah. And you know, I saw, because I'm a person who believes in feng shui a lot.
Okay.
Then I shared to Stephanie on your dad doing the thing. I'm like, wow, so is your dad the one who inspired you to be in real estate, or you know, is it just memang you like real estate itself?
I think funnily enough, right, like you brought up my dad, 10 years ago when I think the property market was about booming time, I think that was then, maybe the time I was about 16, 17 years old. And at that time, every single weekend, it was like a hobby, you know, with my parents, you know, my mom and dad were like, oh, let's go
shopping for property.
Window shopping lah.
Window shopping. Okay.
How to buy everything, right? If every week we bought one, then I mean, fatat already lah. But long story short is that we did a lot of property visits, and personally, I think that was when I really kind of got the idea of like, property can actually build asset wealth, you know, and then over time that this asset will actually get paid off by the tenant, assuming can rent out lah. And you know, this becomes very passive in that sense. So then I was like, oh, property is quite interesting, right? So I think that's where it really kind of nourished me to like, oh, I want to get into real estate, but I didn't really know how to lah. So long story, like just now you mentioned, right? When I came back from the US, what I did was I actually joined one of my friends who was doing really well in this agency.
Oh.
So I only did that for close to about 8 months-ish. It was a company called, I don't want to name the company lah.
Cannot name.
Cannot name the company. Yeah, but I did rather decent sales over there. I think with the stint of 8 months, right, I was able to sell quite a fair bit of properties, about 40-ish lah. And then I came across this startup company called InstaHome. Okay. So they were like trying to build this startup ecosystem very similar to what we are today. And I think parts and bits of the business today is also inspired by the learnings that we have had in InstaHome, and then we kind of changed the model a little bit to kind of make it our own lah. So long story short was that after working as a project sales agent for 8 months, after
8 months only.
8 months only.
Wow, that's very fast.
Very fast lah, because then they were looking for somebody like the first few early employees to the startup. Then I went to this company called InstaHome. So InstaHome, if you ever came across, is that orange colored company. And we raised quite a fair bit of money at that time, close to about 11 million ringgit. But within that 1 year, 8 months-ish, the company just vanished because couldn't raise the second round and whatnot. Yeah, so that's where I started this StayWoke thing.
So basically, it was around, I mean, you started basically this thing around 2 to 3 years ago. 2 years?
I would say it's now about 2 years old.
2 years
2
old.
years old, yeah.
Wow, it's actually quite a long journey, to
It
think
is,
of. Yeah, because I think recently you gain more eyeballs. I think in these few months, right?
Within these few months, like
Yeah.
social media to us is like very, very new. We started, I think right now maybe it's on 5th month. And
Wow, that's quite fast.
thankfully
Yeah,
it
it's
gained a
quite
bit of
fast.
traction.
Yeah, and just now, since you reviewed so many projects and whatnot, right? Okay, because I do area review. I review a lot of areas, but I don't have much time. So I can't really go to a lot of places. But
Right.
which area do you like most in KL?
This is a very hard question, man.
If you were to stay in? Because I personally, the reason why we did this is because we want to let people who are not from KL, because I'm from Johor, but a lot of Johorians or people from other states, they don't know KL as a whole. Like when you talk about Bukit Jalil, they're like, oh, I know the Zhou Jielun 演唱会, the concert, I know where it is. But there are so many more gems over here, like for example Esplanade, right further down, it's so serene, so nice near the golf course. It's really nice, but not many of them will know. And like for example, in Wangsa Maju, I haven't been there. I've been there only twice or 3 times. So like there are so many locations in KL that is a gem. So I think you have more experience than me, right? Which one do you think it's the better one?
Well, I think this is a very tough question because like when you said, right, I've been to so many different areas.
Yeah.
I really think it depends on where you're at your career and life. Now, if you ask me personally, right, if I don't have to work anymore, not to say not to have to work, but I don't have to...
Very
a
passive.
bit more passive, right? There is this one particular condo, even the area is very secluded one. It's in considered Belakang or Cheras outside skirt one lah. It's called Windows on the Park.
Oh, you know Stephanie, you know, right? She likes it,
Really?
She likes it.
I love the place, like because for me, I like greeneries. I like to see the landscaping there is insane. The plot of land is big, and then the layout also okay lah, like sizable enough, right? And then after a long day's of work, you go walk around the little park over there. Wow, so full.
Wow, so full. Hey, I tell you, just now when you said Balakong, right? Just for info, from context, Stephanie is right behind the camera. When you just said Balakong, she was like smirking already, Her face was like, I told you so.
Yeah.
It's actually it's nice, but one thing I don't like is the surrounding. It's very industrial.
No, yeah, that's the give and take over there lah. Because
it's very cheap, right?
It's very affordable.
Yeah, very affordable.
I look at that. There was this one unit that was going for sale about 980 plus square feet, 420,000.
Mana dapat ni?
At that type of landscaping, that type of area,
SDB
okay
some
lah. SDB some more, right?
SDB.
The developer has always churned out very beautiful properties,
Yes.
So, wow, SDB, hey, you guys
Sponsor
lah.
Bawa lah kita orang.
Yeah, so that one, I think if I no longer need to work as hard as what I do, right, or I don't need to come to KL very that often, then that was the development that I would really consider. That area is also not too bad because for me, I like to eat Chinese food, right? So that place, abundance of food.
A lot of food there. Wow.
C80.
C80 lah. Yeah, C80 very near.
6 minutes drive.
Yeah, 6 minutes drive. Wow, this one I see now she's pointing fingers and you see? No, like I mentioned earlier in this video, right? We are looking for a house to stay. So, as I'm staying around here, so I was looking at Seringin. You haven't had a chance
Seringin Heaven, yeah.
It's at Happy Garden. It's
Yep.
One of our relatives are staying over there. It's very nice, but of course not as nice as Windows on the Park. Because the location plays a part as well. Right?
Yeah.
And just looking around at things, that's why it's really very interesting. That's why we want to set foot on the area first, and then only we decide like, okay, you know what? In this area, for example, Bukit Jalil, I want to find what is the best choice for me. So this is how I normally see things.
Right. I think that's a good way to think about it, right? Because as I mentioned, it really depends on where you're at your life and career, right? Like because a house is actually a temporary need a space, right? I may need this location in Cheras right now because I work there. Most of our things are there.
Yeah.
And if let's just say for your case, right, if you talk about the area that you're familiar with and where you work, there's just a lot of factors. So a lot of people from our Instagram videos, right, they say, hey Jin, just tell me one place where to stay, what to invest in, right? I'm like, dude, I don't really know you that well, number one. I don't know how much you make a year, where you work. Where you prefer, what you like, there's so much factors. And for me to really give you like a blatant answer like, oh yeah, just stay here, buy here. Cannot right? I don't know.
Not fair as well.
Not fair also.
Yeah.
So I would throw back the question is like, what do you actually like? Where do you work at? How much do you make? What can you afford? A lot of factors lah.
Yes.
Then you decide from there lor. But now for the case of me, if I were to pick a location in terms of the most strategic one lah, I would think Bukit Jalil and Old Klang Road actually is quite comfortable.
It's comfortable,
yeah.
but then it's very zap. Yeah, it's very. Well, I want to find a nicer words. Yeah,
It's zap lah.
yeah, it's very zap and it's very, how to say, very bustling. Yeah, it's very bustling. Every day when I get woke, I mean I'm, how to say, 我醒来 I wake up because of the car sound.
Correct.
The traffic and everything. So it's really very congested, but it's very convenient.
Correct. So that's why I say, if let's just say your work is like requires you, like if I were to stay in Balakong, insane, I would never want to stay there. You know, confirm I wouldn't stay with those in the park. But if I'm a retired person, I would want to stay there. So I would think this Bukit Jalil, Old Klang Road, because of the accessibility and the abundance of good food over there, price is also rather affordable.
Good food leh. You see, so now Stephanie's face is smirking like, what? Huh? Good food. You know, every day hey, where to eat? Don't know. Then we always go to malls or whatnot because what good food actually? Just curious or not.
I think Old Klang Road has quite a fair bit of like bak kut teh.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm like a very China Abeng kind of person, right? Even though I'm banana, but I like to eat my Chinese food lah. So for me, I can live with kai fan almost every single day. I'm very boring, very.
Are you a foodie?
I would say I enjoy eating food, but I wouldn't say that I'm a foodie in that sense.
You won't be picky.
I'm not picky at all. I'm not picky at all.
But you know, I just to give you, I mean, you can probably because I went and visit around Taman Desa at Old Klang Road, right? Do check out. Just find some condos over there. You will love it.
Right.
So for those of you who are watching, right, watch my video first, They only watch this. Mine is the overall. You understand everything first. They only watch his condo.
I think that's a very good statement. You know, like I feel like if you're doing this type of aerial review, right?
Yeah.
I think one thing that the audience will really appreciate. This is just my 2 cents lah. Is that you got to wake up very early lah, my friend. If you wake up at 6 a.m., you mount there. You want to tell the audience how bad the foot traffic over here is.
Yes.
Not foot traffic, but the jam,
the jam,
accessibility, or you mount there at 5, 6 p.m. I think this one will add a lot of value to the people watching.
Wow, this one really.
But this one very dedicated.
Very dedicated. They put a time-lapse video, put a camera over there. Wow, this is very dedicated.
Dedicated.
I think I agree with you. This is really very important because, now, for example, if you ask me, I'm more familiar with the southern part of KL, which is like over this area. Right. But suddenly I say, hey Dylan, you know, there's a place in Wangsa Maju, Irama Wangsa Maju. I've been there once.
Okay.
It's very nice. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's very nice. But how? I'm not familiar over there. As for everyone who's watching, right, we have to really dive deep into the area first. Then we look at the condo.
And the other part about it is also that since you're like looking to buy a house, right, I would recommend don't buy first. Don't buy first. You want to really understand the area from, like what you say, right? You need to experience it. You really need to like 融化 into the culture there.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to a country, right? You go to Sweden.
Yeah.
You just went not long ago, right?
Yeah.
You go there for 1 week. You're about to feel the area already. But 2 weeks, you suddenly become a bit more Swedish already. Then 3 weeks or 1 month later, you can even speak
Swedish.
I don't know what Swedish.
Quite
Crawl or something like that, right? I don't know what's the language there. Okay, but you can probably even get to the extent already, right? So I think similarly to buying a house, if you are not sure if this area is for you, right, just rent first. At minimum, also go for an Airbnb there first. Try to commute there to work. At least then you get a sense of like, this is my journey. I need to use dash highway lah, max highway lah. My expenses 多少钱lah. At least you get a sense of like, oh, this is my day-to-day operational route. And if that area is still convenient for you, and then you kind of like gel well with the area, then you consider. A lot of people will just, Wangsa Maju, I know. Oh, this one this price
not bad. And near KL some more, near KLCC some more.
But you never actually experience the culture or the local
community.
Correct.
Yeah.
You need to localize yourself with that part of town.
Yes.
Every town is different one, Subang kids come out differently one.
Correct.
Ampang kid, like me, come out differently one.
Like to eat chicken rice Ampang.
My house my house like chicken rice, I like chicken rice. My house there got nothing to eat one, mama only.
I thought Ampang is popular for Yong Tau Fu.
My side is not that part of Ampang.
Not that part.
My side is Bukit Antara Bangsa, the landslide area.
Hey, you know what? There was one of our viewers or subscribers, I'm not too sure. He said, "Hey, Dylan, can you go and visit Ampang?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll add it in my list." I'm like, "How to go and do Ampang? So big, you know."
Yeah, Ampang is huge.
So you have to go area by area.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think that is really something that is very, very.
If you want, you come by lah. I bring you around. I'm quite familiar with the whole Ampang region lah.
Yeah, I think next time when I do an area review,
we
right,
do
I'll
together
find,
lah.
yeah. Then you bring me around first.
Can.
Then you guys can see how Jin eats. What he normally eats, so you can determine whether he's a foodie or not.
可以反 guys.
Yeah, I think that's we met earlier. I mean, last time we didn't really get to talk so much, right?
Right.
But now I think I know you more.
Right.
I know you more.
I have a tendency of opening up very quickly to people also lah. Like, I find myself like somewhat very talkative to a certain extent also. During an open setting lah, like if it's a lot of people environment, right, I tend to be a bit more shy, more awkward, right? But if it's like more of a one-to-one interaction, then I think it's a bit easier lah. Yeah.
But you really don't seem like an introvert.
I don't know. When I did my MBTI test, right, it was introverted 48%, 52%.
Oh, so it's very close,
yeah.
Oh.
So I'm more introvert than extrovert. I think it's depending because of my job, the nature of my job, right?
You have to be more outgoing.
Correct. Yeah.
And okay, so just now you mentioned that there is this one condo, and can I ask this? Which place you wouldn't want to stay, or which condo? Like, no, can I say which condo lah? Which area? Okay, give me a more specific one.
Which area?
Not to say it's not good. It's just not to your likings.
Not to my liking. That's a very good question. Well, because I feel that there's a lot of places that I wouldn't want to stay at also lah. I think Puchong is one of the areas where I just find it a bit tricky lah to like, right?
To be honest, I don't know whether people bash me or not. I hate Puchong. Every time I go there, the roundabout, not roundabout, the U-turn.
Correct.
Walao eh. Down there, then the ways not clear, so down there, every time you need to go few more rounds, you know.
Right.
Is it called Puchong Utama or Bandar Putri?
Bandar Putri.
Wow, the U-turn, then no, sorry no Puchong.
Puchong is one.
Area review can, I'll let you all see why I don't like Puchong.
And Puchong has become very congested over the years lah. And then somehow right now, IY plans to do the Rio 2 and then the massive development over there. I think how many 10 over billion GDV. So just imagine it's already so congested, and then there's not much like accessibility to public transportations. And then highways is okay, but the whole stretch of the IY Puchong Mall there already very susah.
Yeah.
So because my girlfriend stays there, and then I commute there from Ampang to that side, 1 hour plus. You know.
Will she bash me? You won't, right? She should understand now.
But that's one lah. Puchong I think is a bit tough lah.
Yeah, and Puchong I think if not mistaken it stretches to near Putrajaya.
Yeah,
right?
near Putrajaya. Yeah.
You can reach to is it Dengkil? No.
Yeah, Dengkil also. After Putrajaya, then you go to Dengkil, then you Sepang. Then it will be like the Monet Lily, the Sansuria developments. Then after that, KIA already. So that side of town is actually coming up, in my opinion, like the Xiamen University over there. Population is also quite a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, and a lot of China people are actually residing in that part of town lah.
I didn't know about it because when last time when I went to Inti, Xiamen was not that popular yet.
Correct.
Yeah, not that, and it's because it's a China school ma.
Right.
But now, in recent years, I think Malaysia we are very much influenced by China as well.
Correct.
We are very open to China culture lah. Yeah, so this is actually that's why I think a lot of people move there as well.
Right. So and you can see that the two main developers that are building up that entire development over there, right, is somewhat considered as Kota Warisan lah. Kota Warisan.
Yes.
Yeah, so Kota Warisan, the area has two major developers. One is Sime Darby, obviously known for township. The other one is Sun Surya. Sun Surya one is closer to Xiamen University, and then this Sime Darby one, actually massive development over there because they have a plot of land all for commercial areas. So like what you said just now also about like Johor getting all this tax-free zone and whatnot, right? I believe there's going to be more foreigners coming into Malaysia, right? Because cost of living is cheap over here.
Yes.
Comparable lah. I mean, relatively to their countries.
Yes.
And also because there's a lot of tariff in that side of the country because
Correct.
Trump is now president again.
Yes, yes.
So in my opinion, I feel like if the Xiamen University, number one, is already a renowned university in China, then number two, there's massive commercial areas over there, right? Which means these people, these China tycoons, can buy up over here, and then they need a place to reside. So to me, I think that is a location where a lot of people are not aware of. It's a bit under the radar. And I personally like that area.
Seriously.
I like the area because it's not too far from KIA. It's like 20 plus minutes.
It's very, very near because, last time Nilai,
we
right?
travel there very often.
One fun fact for those who studied or are studying in Nilai, that area, last time we went to KLA too. That's our only mall.
Yeah.
Right? And Mitsui.
Yeah.
So I didn't, it's going to be up and coming based on your...
In my perspective, if you go there, because if you want landed property in KL, nice looking one, and a bit more modern, right? Impossible to get at this price range, right? So over there, the Kota Warisan area, you're looking about 600 to 700,000.
Oh.
And your sizable landed house that kind of emulates Desa Park in that sense. So I personally find the area to be under the radar at this moment. I think give it another 10 years, right? Where all the commercial up, China people flooding in, or foreign investors, right? That might be a very interesting location to look at.
Yeah, it makes sense as well, actually. Yeah, wow, this is something not 车大炮 one, right?
Not 车大炮. You one of these days, when you're free, then you can follow me because I also not long ago, I recently quite into Lelong properties, and then I saw a Lelong property over there which I then executed on because I kind of studied the area quite a fair bit already. So I was able to fortunately get a landed property over there about 550,000. Which is below market about 30+%.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got that over there and I plan to actually rent it out to China students in Xiamen University and whatnot. And the returns there are insane because we are already currently managing a couple of units over there.
I see.
So with the past data and the past record that we know, then it makes a more informed decision for me to let me put my money there.
And that's why you have to use your StayWokeProp.com
okay, we want the link up.
for a more proper. I see I'm very good at this. First time doing
Right.
Yeah. I think one thing just now Stephanie was saying Desa Park. Hey, must credit to you one. Girls must credit to them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean one thing about Desa Park, I think Desa Park is also, for me, it's not up and coming. It's memang
already there.
But I'm very interested in their new launch.
Cyberjaya new launch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Why,
but of course, the price is very much different. Desa Park, Park City,
oh,
the one, that is creating
okay.
the hoo-ha now. The landed is asking for, I think it's around 1.3.
1.3,
Opposite of Staywoke Glades.
Right. And further down is Gamuda Cove.
Yes.
We just went there to shoot the video
the other day.
Is it? Yeah.
How much is Gamuda Cove now, actually?
If I'm not mistaken, it's also about 600,000-700,000 for the terrace houses So it's not too expensive. Yeah. But I did pass by the Desa Park one. I was looking at it. I'm like, this is the same logo.
It's the same one.
Oh, it's the same one.
It's for me. I'm really very interested.
Really? That's the next one you will buy lah.
I hope so. I really hope, fingers crossed, because I mean nothing set foot yet. It's because it's very convenient.
Right.
Like for me, I'm around this southern part, right? So we usually just take the Max Highway, just down. And I like Cyberjaya to be very serene and infrastructures are already there.
Right.
Yeah, and I believe the community over there is actually quite okay. It's quite strong. So that's why I think maybe you can do no, nothing there yet, maybe you can check around StayWoke Glades right opposite.
Right. StayWoke Glades. The other day we wanted to one shot do because we were at Gamuda Cove, just to do the township review So we started also doing a bit more longer form videos.
Okay.
But we want to give people what you do basically to kind of explain more about the area. We just did one at Desa Park also. We did a Desa Park township review. We did a Gamuda township review. Elmina also.
Wow.
So these are 3 coming up in Chinese New Year. You all got to stay tuned for that. And basically we just give context of how the environment is right now, what the demographics, what the price range, how far is it from here to those locations, right? Give people a bit more context.
Yeah.
And maybe hopefully one of these days Gabuda, IJM, hear us, right? Give us a buzz lah.
Hey, pandai lah, you panggil for sponsorship. Very pandai lah. Yeah, I think really, I mean, the Sepang one is really very enticing. Maybe one day we can head down there to check it out.
I think when I get my keys for the lelong, then just...
you bought already?
I bought already.
Oh!
I already, everything done. It's just that now waiting for the transfer to come over. So I think after Chinese New Year, maybe I think should be okay already. I got a sneak peek inside, it's all fully furnished. So I'm quite excited. The guy just left in a hurry. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are free that day, then tag along, we just go down together.
Sure. And one more question is like, how about the maintenance? Because renting to students, you'll be a bit afraid.
Yeah.
How normally?
I mean,
this is one thing that I think a lot of investors will be afraid of.
Right. And the honest truth is that we have been operating this rental management thing for quite some time, right? I think over the years we have rented out about more than 2,000 over properties lah. And I gotta say that students is a hit or miss for the most part. Because some people are quite okay. I don't know if I should say this or not, but some people from a different country, different culture, whatnot, right, have a tendency to be a little bit more dirty lah. Okay.
I think we all know lah.
You take a wild guess in the comments down below lah. I wouldn't say outright. People say I'm racist, but this is based on our experience of 2,000 of properties. So rental properties is always going to have that type of risk lah. I mean, like starting a business, property investment is also a sort of business on its own lah, because you're dealing with the tenants, which is your quote-unquote client, and then how do you actually facilitate that, yada. There's a lot of nuances lah. And being in this industry for so long, right, sometimes it's just disgusting.
Yeah, but I think passion drives you to keep wanting to buy more rental properties, because just for context, right, Stephanie is the one that is not pro-property one.
I see.
Because both of us, we are from the bank, right? So she's a person where, I want to buy stock. If I got 1 million or the total jackpot now 88 million, if I get it now, I want to invest in stocks only. Don't ask me buy property. She has, but not aggressively. But for me, I'm different. It's like, I think passions really will drive you to invest in things that you want. So I think all in all, property is more on a passion thing, right?
I would say so lah. I would say property is number one passion. It's also about a more disciplined form of investment. Yeah. Whereas in stock market, you can anytime just like put 100, 200. But the minute you commit to a property, bro, this is 2,000, 3,000. You need to pay the bank one. The bank is not going to give you any sort of like, this month you cannot pay.
Never mind lah.
Stock market, this month, I feel like want to eat 5-star restaurant, I don't even know lah. Maybe I hear a lot of Nobu, right? I need Nobu. Maybe 1,000 ringgit per person. Okay? Or this month I don't put my 1,000 ringgit into the stock market, right or not?
Yeah, it's very flexible.
Very flexible. But now if it's a property, you got to be very disciplined. And that's the reason why you see nowadays a lot of new BP condos, right? Damn a lot of lelong one. Because the disciplinary understanding of owning a home is not there. The financial literacy is not there. You buy a house already, thinking that, I can rent it out, whatnot, but there's going to be vacancy periods, people renovation period, money to do this, all this ding dong, right?
Yes.
And then that's the reason why a lot of these properties gonna lay long during VP stage lah.
VP stage already kena long.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those are the best deals to actually look at, because new property straight away marked down 10-20% already. Good deal for investors assuming you have the cash flow Yes. But coming back to your point just now, so usually when we maintain the properties for some of the clients that we have, right, we actually get cleaners to come in on a bi-weekly basis to kind of like make sure that there's proper governance, is properly cleaned up, and with the ones without the management, right, then obviously you cannot go into the premise. It's really by luck already.
Correct.
So I say, when you think about property investment as a very passive thing, right, I think this is an absolute wrong statement. It's a very active investment.
Very active.
Very active. You got to make sure that things are intact, no things rosak, and then when it rosak already, you must have the cash to go and fix it,
Yes. I think that's the reason why a lot of youngsters nowadays, right, they don't like investing in properties. They feel that it's not fast money. People like fast money, people like crypto, stocks and whatnot. They play leverage as well. And I really think that all of us, right, should invest in properties. Not to say aggressively, but maybe at least one or two.
Correct.
Really just because if you like to play leverage, property in my opinion is leverage 90%.
Correct.
You leverage 9 times.
Yeah. That's the biggest leverage you get.
Yes.
And the thing is, with property, right, it's not like the stock market. Stock market, if you want to have a portfolio of 1 million, you need to have 1 million cash.
Oh, this is exactly how we say. Yes.
But if you buy a property, if let's just say your pay slip can qualify for 1 million,
already can. You can buy 1 million already.
So I would say you need to have because we come from finance background, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we have this type of acumen of like, I know a little bit about this. I'm no expert, no guru, no nothing, right? Okay, I'm just sharing my opinion. I would think that because Malaysia policy is still, in my honest opinion, is flawed to a certain extent. If you look at the surrounding ASEAN countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and whatnot, right, it's very not accessible. It's very hard to own a property.
Very, very hard.
Whereas in Malaysia, owning a property is like, hey, you got salary pay slip, down payment also no need, MOT, HOC, all these government initiative. Sometimes got 100% loan margin, then you can get cashback some more. Apa lagi you mau?
Apa lagi? Wah, apa lagi? Really? This is something that I always say. Apa lagi you mau?
Really, apa lagi you mau?
Your salary 3K, 2K also can buy property.
Correct, you buy a rumah whip lah.
Yeah.
Right or not? So I feel that the Malaysian government, the Madani government, or who not lah, has already put so much benefit for the Malaysian community, right? But we just don't know enough financial literacy.
Correct.
I think it's us being illiterate in that sense, not knowing.
We are very pampered.
Very pampered. Yeah. We are so taken care of by the government. You go to Philippines, you go to Indonesia, you go to Thailand, right? Bugger, you poor, your hala, you cannot buy property, your problem.
Correct.
They're not gonna.
Exactly.
I nearly say the bad words, right? They're not gonna care. They're really not gonna care about. You can afford, cannot. Just rent lah.
Yeah.
Then the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. So I feel like Malaysia should have a spokesperson about how to buy property, what property is about. And I think that is also one part of it that fuels me a bit, right? You see, like, when it gets to very hot topics like this, suddenly
sit also like that already.
Yeah, I get very agitated because I get very angry at the fact that when you look at the comments down below, Malaysia property mahal. It's not mahal, bro. It's your financial, it's your own problem. You don't know how to plan your finance. And not just that, it's also...
Sambil kata.
Yeah, but I don't want to go there lah. But essentially, I feel that Malaysia is just such a good place to live. Government policies are so favorable to homeowners, right? I still think Malaysian people take it for granted lah.
Exactly. And in a lot of, not to say I think YouTube is still better. But if you look at Facebook or Instagram's comment, right? Every time on certain 中国包 or what 包 lah, and some English the what stars or whatever, the comments will all be very negative one. 没有人买 property 了啦, no one buys property now. It's not earning money. It's a scam or whatnot. But actually, it's not.
Right.
It depends on where you buy. Like for example, I buy project A, I earn money because maybe mine is 35 years loan. You buy project A, don't earn money maybe because yours is 20 years loan.
Correct.
The monthly installment plays a part.
Correct.
So there is no right or wrong always in property investment.
I agree. And it's also more importantly about the entry price lah.
Correct.
So I think that's the reason why when you see a lot of the real, very serial property investors, the one that is making a lot of money, they're all in the Lelong market. Actually, this is where the tycoons are at. But you need to have the abundance of cash to play that game. Because if you buy a property, there's 30% discount.
Show
win ma. Your rental how much? The median price how much? Even next year you want to sell beyond the RPGT, you can actually still make a hefty profit. So I feel that entry price plays a super important role. If for whatever reason you get like discounted bulk rates and whatnot, confirm you will get some sort of advantage in that sense.
Correct. So I think to summarize it up, you personally you would recommend people to buy sub-sales or lelong more compared to buying a new project?
I wouldn't say so. Okay, maybe I'll reiterate that statement over there. I would think even in the context of like what Stephanie has mentioned, she prefers stocks, right? Actually, I also to a certain extent believe that stock is a better investment than property after your second one. Because the first two is 90% ma.
Correct.
You should just go and whack the 90% first. What if the government policy change?
Yeah, you never know, right?
Because other countries are 80% first property already. Thailand, my brother resides there. So,
your brother is residing in Thailand?
Yeah, residing in Thailand. 330 square feet. You guess how much is it?
1.5? 1.2?
Ringgit million 330 square feet
No, 700. No, which part of Thailand?
Bangkok.
I heard it's 700,000-800,000.
Yes. 700,000-800,000, you know. Hey, that is damn mahal 300 square feet, open the door is like that only, you know.
It's just like a studio lah, basically.
And I did a review on that particular condo before. That was very early in the days. You got to scroll all the way back down lah. Super small studio unit, 600,000-700,000. My God.
And the loan-wise?
Loan-wise, I cannot recall, but I think it was only about 70%. So you need to top up 30% down payment.
No discounts or whatnot?
No discount, whatnot. So you got to pay the legal fee and all this. So your to buy the property, you need to have like what? At least 200,000-300,000. Almost half the price of the property. Now in the case of Malaysia, you see 90% loan margin for the first two property. Now developer give 10%. No need, got the HOC, no need stamp duty, whatnot. No legal fee.
No legal fees.
Bro, you got your payslip, you buy already, house is yours.
Partial furnished, fully furnished.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then you rent out the first one already, that one also you 包税lah. You tenancy agreement, you stamp already. Then your income goes a little bit higher, you can buy the next property also. The next property also don't need 10% down payment. So the first two property you got already, okay, that is where I feel then it becomes a tricky part already. Then you only got 70% loan margin already.
Yeah.
That is where I feel you should look at stock market first. First two property, you do this one because
no-brainer. It's a no-brainer thing, yes.
Because when the government changed their policy, jialat lor. You wouldn't have these deals anymore already, you know.
But I don't think it will change. But no, it changed before. Ma. Last time it was unlimited 90%.
Oh, really?
Very long ago, it was unlimited. Then after that, now they limit to 2 because to reduce the speculation of properties. Yeah, and RPGT also got revised or whatnot.
Right.
So yeah, I think there is a chance that one day it will be, you know,
change lah.
Reintroduced lah. I mean, it will change lah. Okay.
Yeah. So if the policy change again, then obviously you miss the golden opportunity lah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So. And for the case also, it depends on the context of where you're at in your life lah. Like for the case of myself, because I have a small little operations over here, we have operating costs to run our business. Then obviously, you know, if you buy a lot of property, this is commitments. Like what I said just now, if I need cash flow for whatever reason, bank is not going to say, hey Jin, never mind lah. Next month you pay lah. I confirm koyak, man. I go to AKPK. Right. So I would think that right now in my current position, you know, after owning handful like 3 properties, right, I think, okay, time to stop over there, okay, including the Leilong lah is 3, and let's try to look into more cash flow friendly kind of investment.
Correct.
So I would think that there's no one reason
or one way to invest in a property.
Correct.
Yeah,
no, just one way. It's just like there is not one asset class that is better than all one. You have to have a mix of portfolios.
Yes.
But you know, I mean, a lot of people will argue otherwise, say property is the best or stock is the best, right? I think it's a balance between both.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think maybe, not too sure, is it because we are from the finance background, we sort of understand both asset class a little bit more.
Correct.
That's why we get to juggle, we do get to balance. Because me, myself, I'm almost the same as you. We invest in stocks as well, we invest in properties.
Right.
So, okay. So, what is the one last advice before we advise to people, for youngsters, before we end this podcast, you know?
Wow, youngsters.
One last advice.
One last advice. Follow StayWoke Property and stay woke, guys.
Okay, I think with that, thank you so much, Jin. Thank you so much, Dylan. Thank you so much. So, really very kanchiong.
Kanchiong. Coffee, man.
Okay, I think with that, do like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And do follow StayWoke, Jin, Jin Chong. Right, you want to people follow your Instagram now?
You follow StayWoke Property more than enough already. So we have a YouTube channel, we have an Instagram, we have a TikTok. Yep. Please do follow us over there. Yep. We do condo reviews 7:30 sharp every single day. So stay tuned and stay woke.
Bang, damn smooth way. And you know what? You know, guys, I do ending every time I make cake one. Yeah, I think Jin is really the guy. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.